Legendary Pokemon are a fascinating concept. Super rare creatures that you can only find one of in the games and are often tied in with mysterious and interesting lore about the Pokemon world. What's not to like, right? Well, apparently there is some that is not worth liking because it seems like some legendary Pokemon just aren't good enough to make the cut. What I mean by this is that there are some Pokemon out there that, instead of being regular old everyday Pokemon, were, or very likely were, originally designed as legendary Pokemon instead. Unfortunately though, they lost their legendary status for one reason or another, and that is exactly what we're talking about today. 5 regular Pokemon who used to be legendary. Let's check it out. Now, really quick, I wanted to mention, in case anyone was about to bring this up, that I actually made a similar video to this several years ago, but seeing as how it has been several years and that video was much more speculative than this one, I figured I was in the clear to talk about this again. Plus, I just wanted to talk about this, and it's my channel, so yeah, let's get into it. The first mon I'm going to talk about today is ironically the one Pokemon on this list that got upgraded from its legendary status instead of downgraded. So we're momentarily going against the grain a little bit here, but it's okay because this is still a pretty cool situation. Darkrai is a Pokemon who is one of the most popular from the 4th generation, and it has the honor of being denoted as a mythical Pokemon, which is a Pokemon that's so rare that they are absolutely unobtainable in the games without the help of some kind of event. However, based on certain evidence, it's very likely that Darkrai was once just a regular legendary that you could catch on your own. Firstly, it's a part of the Lunar duo with Cresselia, who is actually a legendary Pokemon, and that already raises some red flags because it's very odd for 2 Pokemon to be a part of the same duo or trio or whatever, and have one be a legendary and the other be a mythical. Usually they're all legendary and the mythical status is reserved for the trio master, so this is already a suspicious case just based on that alone. The thing that really puts the nail in the coffin on this though is that there is data within the Gen 4 games for a roaming Darkrai, meaning of course one that you could find in the wild roaming around the map. Given that this is the same way that you also encounter Darkrai's counterpart, Cresselia, who is a legendary, and the roaming mechanic in general is one that is specifically reserved for legendary Pokemon, it's nearly certain that Darkrai was originally just a legendary instead of a mythical, but was upgraded to mythical later on for some reason. If I had to guess, it may have had something to do with it being the feature Pokemon in the Rise of Darkrai movie, since that just helps to promote both the movie and the games when you can hand out a special, otherwise unobtainable Pokemon to help promote it. Not to mention that the other Sinnoh movies also feature mythical Pokemon as well. Meanwhile, another Sinnoh Pokemon that went in the opposite direction and was seemingly legendary originally but then lost that status is Rotom. In Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, Rotom was a legendary Pokemon by every account imaginable. There was only one of it available in the game, it was only obtainable in the post-game via a special event, and most significantly, it used the legendary Pokemon battle music when you encountered it. Rotom was truly a legendary in every sense of the word, but then something changed with Rotom starting in Pokemon Platinum. They changed the encounter time for Rotom so that you could find and capture it within the main story, and from there it kinda just went downhill as far as Rotom being a legendary Pokemon. In Pokemon Sun and Moon, it was integrated into the Pokédex, and nowadays in Gen 8, it is everywhere. So it's certainly not living a bad life by any means, but it's certainly not a legendary Pokemon either. So what exactly happened with Rotom? Why did Game Freak change their minds on its legendary status? Or did they even change them at all? Well, like I said before, it's nearly certain that at one point the intention was for Rotom to be a legendary Pokémon, hence why it was given the legendary treatment in Diamond and Pearl. However, due to either internal reasons or simply just because Game Freak saw the potential for mass appeal that Rotom had and wanted to be able to take advantage of that in the future, they ultimately decided to slowly demote it from being a legendary Pokémon. In my opinion, that is probably the reason why. Rotom just had that star potential to where it could be used as much more than just a legendary Pokemon, and it would have been kinda counterintuitive to have Rotom be in the spotlight so much if it was in fact also supposed to be a rare legendary. So Game Freak ultimately converted it into just a regular Pokemon instead, so they could use it in the future the way they wanted to. Another Pokemon that is also extremely suspicious in this regard is Unknown. Despite never being recognized as legendary within the games themselves, Unknown has always had legendary status. While being a Pokemon that is easily found in the games it appears in, it's always been extremely mysterious and has always been tied closely to other legendary Pokemon as well. So the question of why isn't Unknown considered a legendary isn't a new one, but might this close association with the legendary status mean that Unknown was going to be actually legendary at one point? Well, just based on its mystique alone, it's certainly possible, but there is also a little bit of evidence that adds on to this as well. In one of Pokemon Gold and Silver's many beta leaks, an early Pokédex list was revealed that showed off not only many scrapped Pokemon designs, but also that Unknown was grouped right next to Ho-Oh, who is of course one of the box art legendaries of Gen 2. In fact, it was positioned right between Ho-Oh and another Pokemon who also gets its own spot on this list. This Pokemon, listed as number 349 in the internal Pokédex order in which it was leaked, is the only cut Pokemon that we're going to be talking about in this video, but it's worth including and talking about because it's possible that it was not only a cut legendary, but a cut box art legendary for Pokemon Silver. While merely just a theory at this time, it's been noted that not only is this Pokemon paired with Ho-Oh and Unknown in this early Pokédex order, with Ho-Oh and Unknown being legendary and legendary-esque Pokemon, but it also fits the bill of being a very strong-looking Pokemon that also doesn't have any kind of evolution or pre-evolution, which most legendaries, and especially box art legendaries, require. It's also been noted by Did You Know Gaming in their own video on the subject that Pokemon number 349 also seems to have possible Chinese inspirations, which Ho-Oh also has, pairing it up with Ho-Oh as a possible counterpart box art legendary even more. There's also the fact that the actual box art legendary of Pokemon Silver, Lugia, was not around at this time since it was created very late into development and specifically for the second anime movie, meaning prior to that there would have had to have been another mascot for Silver version in its place. All of this, while still unconfirmed, makes it very possible that this cut Pokemon was originally the box art legendary for Pokemon Silver before Lugia came into the picture. And with that being the case, the fact that Unknown is positioned right between it and Ho-Oh in this early Pokédex order could suggest that Unknown was even more legendary than it is now, and maybe had more direct ties to these two Pokemon in particular, possibly even as a legendary Pokemon of its own. Really quick before we get into the final Pokemon on this list, I wanted to bring up Arcanine as an honorable mention because it would have just felt really weird to not mention Arcanine in a video like this. It has been discussed a ton, but the fact that it is literally known as the legendary Pokemon and was even shown in the anime along with the legendary birds as a legendary Pokemon, but is not in fact legendary, is pretty compelling. We may never know if this actually amounts to anything or not, but Arcanine is kind of like the Pokemon who used to be a legendary but isn't anymore, at least possibly anyway, so I felt like I had to bring it up. Finally, the last Pokemon I have to discuss in this video is, believe it or not, the Dratini family. While Dratini and its family of Pokemon have never been designated as legendary, and have never even really been thought to possibly be so, a book that was released exclusively in Japan back in 1996 identifies them as such. In 1996, a book called Pokédex was published that essentially acted as an elongated version of the in-game Pokédex, providing more detail in each Pokemon's Pokédex entry than the actual games could provide themselves, and also detailing new and interesting lore about the Pokemon as well. This book is an official Pokemon product, meaning that it can more or less be considered canon, and it was recently translated by Did You Know Gaming and fellow Pokemon enthusiast Dr. Lava. In the book's section on legendary Pokemon, Dratini, Dragonair, and Dragonite are distinctly included, along with Arcanine as well, adding to our case for him from before. The book states that legendary Pokemon were largely believed to be a myth, before Dratini, who again is identified as a legendary, was captured by a fisherman, causing many to believe that legendary Pokemon are actually real. What's interesting about these claims is that they don't really mince words on whether Dratini and its evolutions are legendaries or not. It simply identifies them as legendaries as if there's no question whatsoever. This is obviously not the case in the games, however, but since this book is an official source, it's possible that this info comes from a time when these Pokemon either were or were being considered to be legendary Pokemon before plans were ultimately changed for some reason, which is yet another exciting peek behind the curtain at the development of the Pokemon games. So there you have it. Those were some Pokemon who used to be legendary. What do you think it would have been like had these Pokemon actually been legendary though? Let me know in the comments below, and be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're new for more content. If you'd like to further support the channel as well, you can check out my Pokemon remixes on Spotify and other music streaming platforms, which greatly supports my ability to make content for you guys and is very much appreciated, so check that out if you haven't. With that being said, I'll be back with another video very soon, and until then, as always, thanks for watching, I love you guys very much, and I will smell you guys later.